convicted, suspended as Chicago certificate stories never going away. Show with stories for the day.
You hear diverse voices and opinions.
And she was meeting her friend with her husband, knowing that. You should not be happy because there is nothing to happy about.
Yeah, it's quite pathetic the way the country is going.
We distinguish each story accurately with analysis.
Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Seven minutes gone past the 5 o'clock hour, officially welcoming you to the Big Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Maryann Okon. According to the UNICEF, Nigeria already has had the highest number of out-of-school children in the world, and the figure continues to rise, particularly in conflict-prone regions across the country. While poverty, infrastructure, and policy issues are well-known factors that impact the number of out-of-school children, the impact of terrorism and banditry cannot be overemphasized. In the past year, there's been school abductions, attacks on communities, forcing closures of schools across the north and middle belt of Nigeria. So what does this mean for the future of education in Nigeria? Well, my guest is joining me via Zoom this evening to have this conversation, and I really must appreciate him for saying yes to me last minute. Abubakar Sadiq is the founder and executive director of the Center for Advocacy, Transparency and Accountability Initiative, and he joins me this evening on Hard Facts. Abubakar, it's so good to have you join us on Hard Facts, and we appreciate you for joining us today on the show. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here with you, and thanks for having me on the show.
Great. Abubakar, can you please turn on your camera so that we can see you while we're having this conversation? Thank you.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, lovely. I just also realized that you and I are IVLP, in the same IVLP group. I realized that yesterday, USGA group. So that's something that we have in common. But let's get into the conversation proper. Let's look at the big picture. What are the latest figures of out-of-school children in Nigeria, and how have they shifted over the years, especially recently where we're having more and more attacks in the middle belt, in the north? Literally, it looks like renewed attacks in the past 12 to 14 months.
Well, thank you once again for this timely conversation. I think it's quite great that we're having this conversation to discuss around out-of-school children, and most importantly, tying it up with what is one key major fact that is affecting retention of children in school, particularly in the northeastern part of Nigeria. As you have rightly highlighted, quite a number of children have been affected. Quite a number of children are out of school, with a statistic that varies from UNESCO statistics, UNICEF statistics, and quite a number of other stakeholders, World Bank and many more, of which they have highlighted close to 20 million children out of school. And most importantly, this figure or this number, greater percentage of it come from the northern part of Nigeria, particularly northeastern part of Nigeria. This cannot be attributed to that. This can be attributed to the fact that over the past 10 years, the northeastern part of Nigeria has been bedeviled by the issues of insurgency, particularly if you look at the Boko Haram insurgency, quite a number of displacement, quite a number of infrastructural destruction, as well as also poverty that is tied to all of these key issues. But most importantly, if you look at all of these key scenarios, you get to understand that one thing is common. The destruction of schools across all of these regions, particularly in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, close to 900 schools were being affected in the past few years. But the government have been coming up to see that they have provided a good response, coming up with good models of driving mega schools in the construction effort. This has also contributed in bringing back children back to classroom. And most importantly, the destruction that has to do with the insurgent attacking communities, with what we have as a school declaration, the commitment by intergovernmental political will of political leaders to see that the government of Nigeria is a signatory to that. We have seen significant effort in seeing that the reduction of out of school, particularly in conflict affected zones, is being reduced towards providing safety and security in those regions. So most importantly, this is tied, and we can see that despite there is reduction, despite there is a significant reduction in the number of out of school across those regions, today we are being faced by a lot of issues of banditry in other part of the nation, particularly in the northwestern part of Nigeria. And also, you cannot mention that within the southern part of Nigeria, we also have these cases of out of school as well. This will also be tied also to poverty. It can be tied to also lack of political will and many more. So it's not just one single factor that result to the out of school of children, but most importantly, the root cause of these issues that has to do with poverty, that has to do with limited infrastructure, that has to do with poor governance, that has to do with lack of political will. All of these are key factors that can be attributed to all of this that will result to how terrorism also can impact significantly to these issues of out of school in our nation.
I hear from my research, I have discovered that in certain regions, teachers are refusing to be posted there. Corps members are also, changing their areas of primary assignment because of some of these states that are mostly affected by these attacks, whether they be bandits or, Boko Haram. What are the unique challenges that some of these teachers have to deal with? I mean, because we're just talking about the children. In certain other climes, when we had COVID, they started teaching children online. But then again, we have peculiarities in different regions across the country, which would, one way or the other, constrain the teachers from getting across to the children in their homes, be to all stay safe. So how do we address these kinds of issues?
Well, I think for me, I've worked in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Particularly, I have a project and operational presence with the institution that I work with across Borno, Adama, and Yobe, supporting this government in terms of institutional reform through developing education policies and many more. One key thing is certain. For example, in Borno State, I can tell you the fact that the government are working around to work with teachers that are from those communities. Investing in the community people for them to teach their own children is one key word or key ways in seeing that we address this insignificantly. And also, as I rightly highlighted to you, poor governance as well as a limited political will is one key thing that affect a lot of teachers to go or to be posted within those locations. You get to see that there are some states that are up till now, as I'm speaking with you, we have just seen the approval of the 70,000 minimum wage. But I can assure you that there are states that are still struggling with 18,000 minimum wage, not to talk of 33,000 minimum wage. This is to tell you that the life of teachers are not valued to some extent as some of across some of these locations where these teachers need to also be their welfare to be prioritized. But most importantly, to some extent, I have seen, for example, in states like Borno and Adama, where to some extent, even the review of the salaries of these teachers were being done. To some extent, the teachers that are supposed to teach these children, some of them are also supposed to be in classroom to have knowledge of literacy and recruitment of teachers is being done as a political compensation for people that have rally learned political leaders during political campaign period. When they have been in office, they have no any other thing to give them. Wow. But to just support them to have a little bit of stipend as a kind of government employment, thereby be recruiting them as teachers. So you can see there is need for us to look inward, for us to see how we can value teaching, how we can value the aspect of education in seeing that people that are trained, people that have skills in national certificate in education as the lowest people that can even taught our words across schools. You go to grassroots communities. I want to assure you that some of these communities that we go, you will shed tears when you see secondary school leavers that are teaching in secondary school. So imagine what a secondary school person will be teaching.
No way.
So these are things that you need to understand. People that are that does not even have the requisite skills, experience for them to be there. It's quite pathetic. And at the end of the day, you will get to see that a place that is supposed to be where children can have access to knowledge, so as for them to serve as a little bit of a platform or a safe space for them, not to even be recruited to terrorism or terrorist armed group. You get to see that whenever they are school, they are just across key things where they will be infiltrated people with extremism minds to advocate for them for how they can join these groups. And at the end of the day, they affect their community, they affect their families, they affect the entire society, thereby even affecting the economy of the nation. Because a growing child or a young person that is supposed to be educated so as for him to add value to the economy of the nation, when he is being recruited into terrorism group, these are the same people that are going to destroy the schools that we have in existence, destroy the systems that we have, and many more. So it is important for us to look at it inward and to see how we can prioritize education by giving the right people to teach our children.
I want to take you back again to some other issues. I visited Kaduna State in 2019, just before the elections. I visited, then I think Nasser El-Rufai was the governor, and I visited some schools where the United Nations, UNICEF, had provided some tents for them, had been destroyed. And for me, it was heartbreaking. Just going back to what you said about some of the learning environments. But most importantly, when I was sitting down with the governor at the time and, interviewing him, he made mention of the fact that encourage children to head back into school, to encourage parents to let their daughters go to school. They still also had to battle with the fact that their parents were worried that, will my child come home school? Because at the time there was some sort of security in Kaduna State, which is a challenge. I want to ask you, as someone who's advocating for education for the average Nigerian child, how do you in good faith tell a parent that it's important for their child or their ward to get an education? How do you also in the same breath convince them that there are safe spaces for these children to be educated? How do you do that? It seems like you being fighting yourself in between a rock and a hard place. How do you get the message across?
Well, I think to be clear with you that for us, our advocacy has been very clear. To government, we have been advocating for gender-responsive public service and as well as gender-responsive budgeting. Sometimes the needs of girls in school varies and is different from the need of boys in school. To some extent, you go to school and see that you have limited segregated life, where young girls that are within their menstrual cycle or during their puberty stage can have access to sanitary hygiene in schools. You get to see that a girl would not be going to school just because during her cycle she will not have sanitary pad, or she will not have a convenience where she can change her sanitary pad, thereby affecting her in those numbers of days that will take her at least 4 to 6 days. She will be back at home without having access to education. So our advocacies recently have been targeting government to see that, government provide gender segregated latrines, government provide a wash facility, particularly boreholes, that girls will have access to quality water supplies within those key things for them to wash their bodies, change, and other key things. We are currently advocating for the passage of a menstrual hygiene management bill across some of these states, particularly in Borno, where we have gone far to engage with legislators. We have been working to see that once that bill is being passed, not even in school but in public centers, girls will have access to these facilities, thereby increasing both enrollment and retention of girls in school. Most importantly, aside from this thing, secondly, is the issues of social norm. Sometimes it's about behavioral mindset and behavioral objective. We have been using radio as a platform to conduct radio dramas.
Sadiq, are you there? I think that we have lost our connection with Sadiq. It's from his end. Hopefully we can get it back quickly to continue the conversation. If you're just joining us, we're talking about terrorism playing a role in the increase in out-of-school children across the country. And for every reason, they've got reasons and, of course, contributing factors to the number of out-of-school children. And Nigeria seems to be leading in the number of out-of-school children in this part of the world. My guest is Abubakar Sadiq, and he is obviously an education and gender advocate. Hopefully we're able to get Sadiq back to join us with the conversation this evening. There's a lot to discuss on this particular issue. This is Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. You can join the conversation there. Post your comments, your questions. I would like to hear from you. We're also on YouTube, Facebook and YouTube. Post your comments with Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's hear from you. In a bit, we're going to go for a break and bring you some messages. And when we come back, then we will allow everyone to join the conversation. In the meantime, we're going to try to get our guests to join us on the conversation again. I guess that something must have happened to his connection to drop him off the meeting. But I think he is back with us. Sadiq, we lost your connection for a bit. Apologies. I think it was from your end.
Yeah, I think this is what technology comes with. Whenever you are having a virtual conversation, sometimes this do happen.
All right, in 1 minute.
Apologies.
No problem. In 1 minute, I would like to just conclude your thoughts so we go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue.
Yeah. So I was saying, most importantly, parents do have limited access to information. And when parents do have limited access to information, they don't get to understand the value that educating a young girl comes with. I'm giving an example in terms of reduction of maternal mortality. If you look at how young girls that are educated, we are having total reduction to how they can even take care of themselves at the stage of pregnancy and other even married. So these are key things that comes with as we conduct various sensitization awareness across communities to see that we bridge the gap between parents leaving their children to be in school and ensuring that government provide access to some of these services so as to ensure that both parent and government are seeing the value that comes with it when you involve and engage young girls in having access to quality education.
Well, if you're just joining us, it's still Hard Fact, 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Maryann Okon, and joining me on the conversation, Abubakar Sadiq Moazu, who is the founder and executive director of Center for Advocacy, Transparency and Accountability Initiative, as we speak on the number of out-of-school children and how terrorism plays a role in it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're still live on YouTube and on Facebook. Post your comments, and when we come back, we'll take a look at them. Stay with us.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Success is like a big mansion. You only see the magnificent edges, not the strong foundation that holds it. Likewise, in the world of e-payments, you only see transactions done and funds remitted. But who pioneered these financial technology solutions? Well, you knew it as ValueCard, now Unified Payments, Nigeria's premier financial technology service provider. Yes, it's time. Find out more at www.up-ng.com.
Unified Payments, unifying businesses for people.
What you're about to taste is so hot, it's got basket mouth singing.
Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Yeah. Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Great. Heat.
Nothing brings the heat like the bold taste of mini noodles pepper flavor. Try today and see for yourself. Mini-me noodles Naija pepper flavor. Slurp it like it's hot.
Hi, this is Nene from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Help build strong bones with Vitabiotics Osteocare from the UK. The supplement that's not just calcium, but also contains scientific cofactors better absorption into the bones. Nourish your bones, teeth, and muscles with Osteocare. In Nigeria, we need calcium for our children through adult life and especially for our seniors to help prevent stunted growth, broken bones, and osteoporosis. Osteocare scientific formula, not just calcium for strong bones from Vitabiotics UK. Available in pharmacies around you.
What can your bank do for you? Meet Jane, 25 years old. She's been having troubles acquiring a loan from her bank.
This is not okay at all. I've been on this queue forever, and you're saying I should fill another form. What's going on?
What can your bank do for you? Meet Frank, 27 years old, held up in traffic and making fruitless transactions.
Mama, I have saved the airtime, even the electricity charges. Why is it so difficult making this payment?
Introducing Safri, a lifestyle digital bank that's designed just for you. With one click, you can make easy, fast payment transactions, pay bills, and even acquire easy loans. Hurry and download the Safri app on your Play Store. Visit safrisafri.com for more information. Safri, borderless banking.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us too.
My mom calls it inside goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio. My goodness.
Grow up. It's with kids, so.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4. HMOs support your child's development. Probiotics, high quality to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Charlatan quality anti-malaria contains Artemisar and lumefantrine, available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets with very convenient dosing for kids. Charlatan is also available in tablets for adults. Knock out malaria in 3 days with Charlatan from Shalina Healthcare. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Charlatan is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Chasing the bag, it's time to get it right away. With iInvest, Nigeria's leading platform for a wide variety of financial products. You can access fixed deposit, treasury bills, equities, and more at your fingertips. At i-investing.com. Started. iInvest is powered by Parthian Partners, a SEC-regulated capital market operator. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Please consult with an investment advisor.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need, natural grains, protein, and to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know, credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, it's 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Hard Facts. Today we're looking at, of course, the increase in the number of children who are to school, and this has been helping sense of it all, and peculiar challenges in the different affected. Because Nigeria taken, and our problems have been overtaken by, the sudden scramble for 2027, all kinds of things. Fortunately, this is a conversation that we must have following the recent increase in attacks across the country. Our children are actually losing out. What must be done to make sure that the children in and around the country are not left out in terms of education and being able to play on the same level with their peers across the world? My guest, Abubakar Sadiq, is still here with us via Zoom. He joins us from the FCT Abuja. Let's move away from this and continue to talk about some of the of our children, especially when children who are living with disabilities. What is the impact on disabled children and other vulnerable groups when education is disrupted like this?
Well, I think hello.
I can hear you.
So I think quite a number of, and thank you so much once again. I think quite a number of children, particularly children living with special needs, are being to some extent left behind in terms of our planning, in terms of our inclusion, and many more. This has to do with the limited skills or limited understanding to some of our duty bearers or service providers that we have in terms understanding what disability is all about. To some extent, quite a number of people mistake disability to just the physical people do first. And not is dumb, not see, or someone is that is the level of people used to. Most importantly, as there are quite a number of disabled that are traumatized. The level of understanding in classroom, you will tend to see difference from other children. Children are quite a number of zones, a non-governmental organization presence is there. In the northeastern part of Nigeria, we are trying our best, particularly where we have operational presence, particularly UNICEF and others that education interventions and other kittens have been doing a lot to vulnerability. Look at disability and see that I can see of government towards some of the resources, like for example, projects initiative for life that is get to see that schools that is being done in such a way that there are point of RAM where children with special needs areas to see that we have a level of a platform where children's ability and because you can see if there are certain children with a level of disability for them. Some I will not feel schooling with they have some children bullying them, kind of thing that will lead to a trauma from through. So most importantly, a little effort towards of you get to see that there are states that are yet to also is quite point in time. these people have as preference to having access to
has cut.
Hello?
The connection. Hear you.
Saying,
Oh dear.
is when in these are have the that add value any political demand charters of the things that are putting into consideration deem from this type by political leaders but to understand political for them to understand one issues can be we can see school initiatives are being consideration in budgeting and this also has to do with what are state what are state doing to see that and many these are key things that overall these are key things and overall we need to that we have taken before we get what we want because it's quite sad as I mentioned this is what we have as we advocate we acknowledge effort before we get other things. Tell people that long has it gone when even when you hold duty bearers accountable, they can even come out and tell you that yes, this is what they can do and do your work. So things done in an active way, such a way that they get to understand. Let us tie it to their needs. The language they understand is that need is tied to the election. They are not willing to provide our needs in office. I want to encourage people. We have or 200 cannot do anything for us. It's quite sad. We're talking about government. Who are citizens that voted? It's quite sad that utilize their office. And up till now that I'm speaking to you, you go to some communities that you into position. You can give to political office. It's quite people are thinking in that direction.
Yeah. It's a conversation that must be to tell ourselves hard truths. Open. You have questions, you got 127 that 001 70.
Agency and are out of school.
Thank you very much for calling. We appreciate it. Do you mind?
I think it's quite. I'm in something that we need to first. In some tribes, they used to say that a wedding house is for him to get being chopped by him. That you will get to see that a Nigerian that did not have taxpayers resources elsewhere in an so something by political office. How can we strengthen in our nation? We are giving those scholarship to people. We are giving them scholarship to come so as for them to pass the system or invest tax resources.
Hello, welcome.
Maryann, good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening, Maryann. Sorry. Maryann, do you think for example, CNG project, how many owners have said I want to build a CNG station in my state? How would the people to manage to buy gas to take that? With all huge allocation, do you think the government to change anything in their state? Good thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Sadiq, you want to?
Yeah, I think some of these key things just blame the federal government at the center. the state government have responsibility. For example, education, basic education is the responsibility of, you look at UBEC, which operate UBEC and LEA, Universal Basic Education Board Authority at the local need trickle down of resources are there by federal government to trickle down those resources. We are talking about local government. Up till now, as I'm saying, there are a lot of local government is out there for them to come up with bills at state to cut almost 60%. Say that, oh, university fund, education fund bills that resources go to all the respect to the NG that he has interested about it. There are that oh, so we are going to do the plan of the gas in places like Lagos, the central part of Nigeria. These are that now, but for example, the now, realistic. It's better we talk about vehicles and energy to go. So important how state government can commit, state government can prioritize citizens in ensuring it is being prioritized into what into for or look at it in that.
All right, let's take for some more calls before we wrap up. Facts.
Good evening to Mr. Sadiq.
Go ahead.
I want to hear him talk more about security, calling on the vice president of insecurity. And look what. So, Mr. Sadiq, the kids say, to students in Nigeria, but and since then, as if all is well, because his son life is wrong. Thank
you very much for calling. We need to take 00127. Welcome to the fact. Good evening.
Yeah. I'm the doctor in the station. My name is Godwin, calling from Laos. A good one, your speaker and a good intention. But taking our mind for the issue, the current is short of local power. There is that go for medical now confirm pass. They don't think about Nigerians and from secondary school to mass. But they are evil themselves.
Thank you very much. Cool. I have just up, so I'll take to wrap up. Hello, welcome to. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you coming from?
Good evening. My name is Bajo. I just want to correct him. Please, government of so many countries for Nigeria of one has been from independence. Our country should give scholarship and that is still very right because there's scholarship from the concern the art of it is not only the federal government look up. Let us look up to even to our local all the tiers of government. They have money. As I talk on the radio, as we talk government, let's try to
all right.
We'll see things.
All right. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I don't think I can take any more calls. In closing, just as they've said, you can't just ask for the states, governors, you also have to talk to state governors, councillors. How about teachers? How about an advocate for children? Of course, more for our children to be educated. You have 60 seconds to speak.
Thank you so much. One key thing is common. Have access to quality education, collective responsibility, not just government, citizens, parents, all stakeholders that are education as a platform. One key thing that I want to clear, highlighted by the last is not against because Nigeria and Nigeria and other nations. Currently, we are saying we want to give those things and opportunities. Let's start by ensuring resources is for taxpayers. We are also saying that we call not at the local government level. Neither do they know their House of Assembly chairman. Start from there. The accountability, committees, accountability up to the level of the that policies that are being implemented are being used, are being distributed effectively for the common man. Is not a support to a child. It's a right for the government, for the federal, to see the responsibility on this. One thing that I want to pop up with regard to security is our ability be to support infrastructure, men and women access to information to see country.
You have to go. Abubakar Sadiq, Center for Focus, Transparency, and thank you for the show. We're hoping we can get you back some.
Your bank for you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's